Morning, all. All right, so news of the day to start things off today. And of course, there will be signings in all likelihood of restricted free agents today. Unrestricted free agents, they're sitting, and there's some big names out there right now that don't have a job. Granlund stands out to me. Hoffman's another one. I'm surprised Galchenyuk didn't get something at like league minimum at the very least, right? So it is an interesting time to be a hockey fan. Kulikov has signed a 1-year, $1.15 million contract. Of course, that came out when I was doing the live stream yesterday on NHL 21. The Devils, good depth signing in Kulikov. He was overpaid with Winnipeg last year, yes, but in a limited role can be very useful. And of course, speaking of the NHL 21 live stream, for whatever reason, it doesn't notify people that I'm live when I'm on the PlayStation on the main channel, which of course the hockey channel. On the Entertainment Guy, when I go live, normally it does. I don't know why that is, but it just doesn't notify people. So I apologize if you're like, I never got notified about this live stream. Yeah. And I can always tell right away because I look at the numbers and I'm like, yeah, it didn't notify. All right, so Kulikov goes to New Jersey, and I had my reaction then where I said, yep, good call, and it's here too. Tyler Bertuzzi. He's asking $4.25 million. The offer from the Wings, $3.15 million. While it's $1.1 million apart, there's a middle ground there, and I think probably $3.5 million, probably over 3 years. It's probably where the Wings and Bertuzzi will end up, which is reasonable. I think it's nice that neither the player nor the Wings seem to be asking too much, and that the difference between the two isn't so crazy that you go, wow, they're in completely different planets. So the Wings, they've been doing things right in the offseason, and there's the possibility that you end up with this Wings logo on a couple of jerseys this year. That's why I'm wearing the hat that has a different logo than the jersey, because the speculation is that the Wings are going to do a throwback in white, and they're probably going to do another throwback as well. So you may end up with both of the old designs worn by Gordie Howe. So yeah, there you go. Wings counter with 3.1. Bertuzzi asking 4.2. Let me know which number you think is more realistic. Stützle, it's been revealed by Ottawa. He hasn't signed his ELC yet, so he hasn't signed his entry-level deal, but they revealed today that he'll wear number 18 for the Senators. So there's some excitement on Ottawa side of things. I would think as an Ottawa fan, you have to be excited for what he may be able to do. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing what tools he has that had some scouts saying he's a threat for Lafreniere at points during the year. Now, at the end, all of them agreed Lafreniere was number one, but Stützle was close, according to some. So that draft we're going to be analyzing right away this season. Because you have to think there's at least 6 or 7 guys from that draft who are already going to, make their debuts in the NHL. Look, the season's starting later, and it's an excellent draft class. So there's 2 reasons right there that you could have guys in the lineup who otherwise might not have. So yeah, looking forward to that. General managers will have a phone call today. This is where the rubber meets the road. So this is where, if we're starting to look at how the 2020-2021 season might look, you start with the GMs. Now, there's limited things they can do without signing off by the owner, but they're going to talk about the AHL. They're going to talk about the draft lottery, apparently. And they're going to talk about the framework for next season and how it might work. Now, the NHL and the NHLPA have been talking daily. And, there's at least some semblance of discussion there, but the official discussions are about to start in regards to how to have a 2020-2021 season. Teams are officially concerned about the development of their young players in the AHL, ECHL, and in junior leagues. And that's something I've been talking about. You have to be concerned about those future assets. It doesn't make any sense to just say, well, we'll have an NHL season and to heck with the rest of the leagues. And so you've got to have a plan here, because if a team doesn't have a cohesive plan that works, it could have ramifications on their prospects and, as a result, their team for many years to come. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see how this shakes out. And I will say this, I'm not as concerned that, well, what if there's no season? I'm not as concerned about that as I was in March. In March, what got me was we had the roster freeze. Literally nothing was happening. Everybody was at home. Nothing was happening. So, video ideas at that point were, well, it wasn't. It was tough, but once we had the return and up until now, things are at least happening. As an example, if you're a Sharks fan, it looks like Connor Sheary may be headed to the Sharks. That's a good signing. And I would think it's not going to be for very much either. I like Connor Sheary. I know that he's one of these wingers that you could argue was made by playing on the wing for guys like Crosby and Malkin, right? But I do like Connor Sheary. I think he's a good depth forward. And if San Jose picks him up, it's that kind of depth they didn't have this past season, and they need it. So hopefully that happens, and Sharks fans have a chance to see maybe San Jose getting a little bit better. And of course, I have San Jose on the board as the next team to look at for where we're at and what's going on and what's the likelihood of them getting back to the playoffs. So after free agency and all that, right? So we'll see if Sheary gets added to that list. Maybe I'll hold off on that video until a little bit later. Now, also, what's being talked about is that the numbers, and I talked about this yesterday too, but it is affecting the hockey world. So the numbers have been trending in the wrong direction across Canada. And just generally, we kind of knew this would happen with the fall. You've got flu season coming in too, so the numbers are not fantastic. And so officials are concerned about how the World Juniors is going to work. You mind this was going to be the bubble environment and all that, but you have to make sure that you can have a safe bubble first. When the NHL came back for its return, they had a safe bubble. Local numbers were pretty good, and even though they trended in the wrong direction during the playoffs, because it was in this bubble environment already where people were safe, it was okay. World Juniors may be coming in at a time where the numbers are in pretty bad shape, which affects the NHL, the AHL, and all the other leagues as well. So, I have my fingers crossed, and, we'll see what happens with that. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below regarding any of these items up for discussion. We are currently 8 days from the end of October. I also want to throw in here, the plan is to have just a regular live stream where my wife and I are just talking to this lovely camera on Saturdays, and then I'm thinking on Thursdays is probably when we'll do the NHL 21 live streams. I'm only going to do one a week because I don't want to have way too many of them. And people get mad because I use a camera angle they don't like, and then they'll get mad. They'll get mad because I'm watching the games rather than simming them. But I find watching the games, not every player gets injured within the first week. It's nothing more frustrating than you put a team together. Now you're simming and you're like, wait, everybody's injured already? What? No. And, okay, so he's back. He's injured again? And when you're watching them, it just doesn't happen. Now your goaltender save percentage takes a nosedive because goalies are nerfed in every NHL game. It's a frustration I've had dating back to NHL 2004. It's been in the game as long as I've been playing it. It's in the game. Crappy goalies, it's in the game. Glitches, it's in the game. Yeah. That fan doing the fish thing, that's in the game. I don't understand. Some of the celebrations they've left in there, some of the animations are kind of odd. But we'll be doing those on Thursday. So, I'll try to give you guys a heads up in the news of the day when it's going to happen, but there you go. And as for you should do the Be a Pro, I'll do that on my own, but I don't know that I would do that in live streams. If I was going to make videos of myself doing Be a Pro, probably happen, but I've noticed everybody's doing a Be a Pro right now, so, and I tend to try not to do what absolutely everybody else is necessarily doing. But hey, we'll see what happens. We'll see how long the off season is. It could be a very long off season. We know this. And as I said, the difference between the March through June period where absolutely nothing was happening, and now is things are actually happening. The sports world exists. And I do have things to talk about. I was going to do a video yesterday on the Entertainment Guy about the Giants and the Eagles. But I got through the first half and I was like, both of these teams suck. I can't do this. Both of these teams are awful. This is just... So that was where I got stuck. And then I looked at the score at the end of the night and I was keeping track of it too. And I was like, yeah, that's about right. Yeah. They're both pretty bad, so I didn't make any changes to my power rankings for football, which of course people might expect me to do. Well, you change it, right? Because a team won and a team lost. In this case, now it tells me that those two are in pretty much the right spot. But hey, I got Sunday and Monday to update all that too. And then on Tuesday, I do the power rankings on the Entertainment Guy for the National Football League. And of course, I'll be watching the World Series tonight, Game 3, where it should be a great pitching matchup. So that's over on the other channel as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, though. As I've said, I always say, and I mean it, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. I mean that too. I do. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.